Howdy! How's all my friends out there in YouTube land today? I hope this finds you well. I hope that the weather's great where you are, wherever that may be. It's cold here in Indiana. We had an ice storm yesterday morning, and this morning we've had a little snow and it's cold, and I'm ready for spring. I'm losing my patience with Mother Nature. What we're going to be doing here on the show today is I'm going to show you how to bejewel a repurposed canvas. I'm going to be putting a Dragonfly on here, and I'll tell you what I've done on this so far. This is a canvas that had a really pitiful looking acrylic pour on it. It was bad. I mean, not everything you do turns out like a masterpiece, you know. So I've decided I'm going to do something entirely different with this, and I painted the entire canvas front and back both with black acrylic paint, just flat black, for my background. Then I came in with this marker. This is called a chalk marker, and these are cool because you can draw on things with these and then it wipes off with water. So I put a basic design on here, and I may not stick to the design itself as I do this project, and I can always go back and wipe it off with water. If there is any residue that shines up on it, I can always go over it with a little more black acrylic paint or something to cover that up. But I'm going to be doing glitter, and I've got a pile of little gemstones over here. You can see some of them there on the corner of the screen. There's some turquoise in there, just a whole bunch of different kinds of little chips and pieces that I'm going to be fitting on this. And what we use for this is glue. I've used some of this Eileen's tacky glue is what I'm going to be using to put on this to hold my glitter and my little gemstones down. And then once the whole thing is dried and I'm satisfied with it and I've got all the marks off of it that are covered up or whatever I'm going to do with that, then I will hit it with some Krylon to seal the whole thing up. But this is what I started off with, and you can get these at craft stores. You can get them at Amazon. Just called a chalk marker, and it's got a bunch of foreign speak on there too that I can't pronounce, but chalk marker is what you're going to look for. These are great for drawing on glass or anything. Nice little markers to have around. Now, I've got some, you can't see it here, but I've got some glue up here on a paper towel, and I'm just going to go at it with my brush, and I'm going to start laying in a little bit of glue on my design. So I have something to put the glitter down to. Now I got 12 different colors of glitter over here in little jars. This is extremely fine glitter that I'm going to be using on this project. And you just put a nice base of glue down on there. Grab a little with the brush, pull it around. This is just an old brush that I use for these kind of projects. Nothing real special. You just want enough that it'll grab that glitter when you put it down, and then the glitter will be the base before we put the gemstones and stuff to it. So there's the body of my butterfly, and I'm going to come in with some of this dark color. This is called Gray Hawk glitter, and I don't want to stick my wet brush in there. I'll take the top of my brush and just rake a little of that around on my design. Get it stuck in that glue. And that's probably more than enough. So we're going to set the little jar off to the side there. And I got some on my thumb. Get it raked off of me. And one thing I didn't bring over here, and I should have, had been a piece of paper. There surely is a piece of paper around here. Yes, I see some. We'll grab some of this. Piece of cardstock. And put it down, and then I'm going to pick my piece up and I'm going to tap off the glitter, the excess glitter, onto the cardstock. Put my piece back down, see where I've missed some, and I'll come back in and drop it in again. Back over the piece. Then I put my cardstock back down. I'm just going to tap my piece a little bit there. And then I'll shake that excess off just like that and see how nice that is covered. Now I'm going to take what's on the cardstock here and I'm going to fold it over a little bit. Whee! Let's not spill it. Put a little crease in my cardstock. Get my little jar. I'm going to pour it right back into my little jar so I don't waste none of it. Waste as little as possible. And this is really, really fine stuff, so you don't want to be getting it all over everything. Now, I'm going to use a little bit more of that before I'm done here, but because he's got a tail and he's got a head, and they both need to be covered too. Probably should have done all that at the same time, but I didn't. And a little on the mat. Let's get that back on the cardstock there. Set that off to the side. I'm going to have glitter all over everything. That's part of working with glitter. Blow the excess glitter there off the edge. Now, get my brush, get my glue, and he's got a tail down here, so we're going to go at his tail a little bit. Like I say, you don't have to stick with where your lines are. If you want to change it up a little bit on how you want to do it, you can do that. You just have to make sure that you get your lines wiped off of it. If you don't go over them, we got that, and then we'll put a little bit up here on his head too. And we'll just get all that. That's all going to be this dark color. There's a little bit still on the paper towels there, so let's see if we can tap that off on the canvas. And then we'll get our little jar again. And I'm going to take the back end of my paintbrush handle. Leak a little bit of that out on there. Get a little up here on his head. Okay, set the jar off to one side, being careful not to spill it. We're going to take our canvas and tap the excess off of it onto the cardstock. Now, you generally have to go over it again. You missed a place or two on it, so you take the cardstock. I'm just going to tap a little of that off on any spots that I may have missed. I'm going to tap it down, and then we knock the excess off. And there it is. Now, put my paintbrush down, and I'm going to get this excess off of the cardstock back into the jar. There we go. Now, there's a little bit left on the cardstock, and yes, it will probably contaminate a little bit on the other areas that I'm going to do, but not enough to make any difference. Just going to be glittery. Now, he's got several sections to his wings here. We got 4 sections in each wing. We got upper sections, and I'm going to do those first. Upper sections on all 4 wings. And those will match. Pull right down to the body. Going right up over top of the chalk lines. I'll come right down over this. Right up to the body. Same thing on this side. Grabbing a little glue. I think this is a great way to repurpose a canvas. Don't waste your canvases if you can help it. They cost money. There's no reason to be pitching them in the trash. You can always reuse them for something. Now, dragonfly wings are generally pointed. This is not, we're not trying to make a realistic looking dragonfly here. Okay, this is an illusion butterfly. Just something a little different, a little fun. Now, for the upper parts of his wings, I'm going to come in with this color. This is called Storybrooke Brown. And I'm going to use a handle on a micro brush here and just ease a little bit of, wee boy, got carried away with that, didn't I? Just ease a little of that on that glue. Wee! Mercy sakes. In for a penny, in for a pound, huh? All right, that's way more than enough. And I'm going to knock off the excess onto my cardstock here. All right, now we come back in with what's on the cardstock and hit any areas that we happen to miss. And I missed a little place here. Go over this one a little bit more. Go over this one a little bit more. All right. Now put the cardstock back down. Now it's going to kind of tap the piece like that. It's not actually tapping the piece, I'm tapping my hands, which are holding the piece, which helps adhere the glitter to the glue. And then I'm going to tap that off onto the cardstock. And there we go. We got that covered real nice. All right, now I got a load of it on my cardstock. So let's get that back into the jar. Tapping it off, getting it in there. All right. Now, I've got it all over the desk here too, so let me put that in there. Brushing it back off onto the cardstock. You can't see the mess that I've got going down here, but I'm trying to clean it up some. There's a little bit more on the canvas, so we'll knock that off of there. And then we'll put the rest of this back in the jar so as not to waste it. There we go. Got most of it off. And put the lid back on that one. Now we got 3 more sections, and I'm going to do the same thing with those as I did with that color. We'll do like one section at a time on each wing, and they'll all be different colors. And then I'll come in with his antenna, and at that point we'll be ready to start laying some gemstones on him. Now he'd be pretty just, you know, with glitter, just glittered up. And what I plan to do with this is I'm going to frame him. And since I'm using gemstones that are going to stand up off of him a little bit, it's going to be kind of a shadow boxy type design piece. And who knows? I mean, I may even add other things to it, but we got to start one step at a time with him. So now I'm going to grab a little more glue. And I'm going to need to move on with this so as not to let my glue all set up over here. And I run the glue right up to my previous design. Right out to the edge. A lot of people hate glitter, but I'll tell you, used in the right projects, glitter is the bomb. It's a mess to clean up, but it can really make your project. Okay, so we got those 4 sections, and I'm going to come in on those with, let's see here, how about we do this color? This is called, get it turned the right direction, this is called Orbit Orange. Ooh, the lid's on that one tight. There we go. Break that loose. And there again, I'll use my micro brush handle to ease a little of that on the design. Getting it all over it. Get it up on that one. Tacky glue, that is the key. It grabs that and just puts it right in there. And even take my handle to move it around a little bit on there. Tap the jar a little bit to move it right on there. Okay, we got that laid out now. So we gotta knock off the excess and see where we're at. Actually, I'm liking that. I think I got that laid on there real good. Okay. I don't even think I need to go back over that. So we'll just get the glitter on the cardstock, put it back in the jar. Tap the cardstock and make sure we get it all off there. Put the lid back on it. Whenever I do a glitter project, I find glitter on my skin for weeks. Sticks to everything. Okay, now grab the brush, grab the glue, go in on the next section of wing, bring it all the way to the edges of the glitter that you previously put on, and out to the edge of the wing. You could do this with like an Elmer's or maybe a Mod Podge, but this Eileen's tacky glue, you know, it's tacky. So it grabs right on there, and when you put the glitter to it, buddy, the glitter sticks. And it's easy to get. You get it at Walmart, you get it at any craft store, you get it at Amazon. Wherever you happen to shop, they probably carry it. Most anybody that's a crafter knows what Eileen's tacky glue is. Okay, one more section here. This one. Right all the way to the edge of the wing. Make sure I get it on these two. Okay, now, what color do we want to use there? Something that'll contrast with that, I think. So we'll come in with how about we use this one? This color is called Piers of Lincoln. I wonder who names this stuff. It's a brass color. Come in with that. Goes out a little easier if you just tap it with the micro brush a little bit. There we go. Smoothing it out some. Okay. Now, this we will tap off real good. Check the design. I'm happy with that. You see there's just a little bit of variation in the colors there between those two sections, just enough to set it off. And I'll put the excess back in the jar. I'll try to. Getting it all over everything here. Clean up the mess I just made. Okay, now tap it down the center of my cardstock. Might help me a little bit. There we go. Now, get the excess back in the jar. Tap the cardstock to release it. Okay, now we got one more section on each wing, and then we'll do the antennae, and we'll be done with the glittering. Oh, shoot, 4.5. I set the canvas right down in the glue. Okay, let me get a paper towel and wipe that off while it's wet. Just a little dab of it there, not enough to make a big difference, but enough to make it stick to something if you don't get it off of there. Okay, clean that up. Now we'll put that jar back in the box. Come in and get a little more glue here. Right down the edge of the design. Fill it all in. Right up to the edge of the glitter. little more glue. Another wing. See, if you're real careful with your glue when you first put it down, get it all the way up to the edge of the designs that you're wanting to lay the glitter into, so that the glitter has something to stick to. Then you don't have to try to go back and repair it. Get it all in there right the first time. I'm even trying to come down over the majority of my chalk lines so that I don't have a lot of cleanup to do. Okay. All right. Now, with this one, I'm thinking that maybe we should come in with some silver on here. Oops. Get it going the right way. This is actually called Silver Sparkle, but hey. Tis what it is. Sprinkle it around on there on the glue. Get it all the way to the edges of your design. Now, if you're using anything other than super fine glitter on your project, your results are going to vary. The super fine glitter for a project like this is the berries, buddy, because it's so fine that it covers every little bit that you got glue on. Bigger chunks of glitter are not going to cover as well. All right, now we're going to knock the glitter off of there. Take another look at it. Well, I see a couple places that could maybe use just a little touch more, so we'll come back in and sprinkle a little more glitter on the edges of there. Excuse me. Had some congestion today with the weather acting up, bothering me. Okay. Take another look at it. Looking pretty doggone good to me. Okay, now get the excess glitter off of my cardstock. Back into the jar. I've got it all over the desk here too, so we'll clean that mess up. And yes, there will be a wee bit of contamination, cross-contamination, different colors of glitter, but it ain't going to be enough to amount to anything. Get the lid back on that one. I'm going to get a drink. Works that frog out of my throat. Okay, now we got to do the antenna. That's the last pieces of him that we need to worry about getting glitter on. And yes, he's going to have kind of thick antennas. You can make yours as thick or as thin as you want to if you're doing it, but I'm going to lay them on a little thick. Just following my chalk lines. And I want these to be gold. This is called Sunstruck Gold. It would be nice if I get it up over the glue part, wouldn't it? There we go. Just tap it a little bit right over that glue. Whoa! Lord have mercy. Enough glitter there to paint a dozen pictures with. Just tap it down into that glue a little bit. Just like so. I'll set my little container of glitter off to the side. Get my cardstock to whack that off of there with. There he is. There he is. Now, like I say, you wouldn't have to bejewel it if you didn't want to. If you just wanted the glitter on there, that's cool just in itself. But I'm gonna bejewel him. So we're gonna knock that glitter off into the bucket. I'm gonna put the lid back on that so I don't spill it everywhere. There we go. Put it back in my little case. So that's my handy dandy little case with my glitters in it. And we'll set that off to the side over here to get it out of the way. Now I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to take a little alcohol on my paper towel and use it as a tack cloth. Let's move our little goober there to the side. I'm going to move my glue and my paintbrush off to the side. I'm going to move my jewels and stuff off to the side. Paper towel with a little alcohol on it. I'm going to use that as a tack cloth to go pulling up the excess glitter off of my mat and cleaning up my mess here. It ain't going to get it all, but it'll get the most of it for right now. It'll cut it down. Okay. Now, that was all coated in glitter, so I'll get that out of the way. Then I'm going to grab another paper towel. And I'm going to go back and wiping that down again. Okay. Didn't get it all, but it got the majority of it. We'll bring our dragonfly back. There's our dragonfly. Now, I got these different kind of jewels and stuff that I can use on here. And so I can put something like that right up there on that part of him. And then I've got, there's another white one that I could use. And I could come on down maybe with some turquoise. I got some little turquoise hearts. Maybe I could go in with a turquoise heart up here on him. Now with these, what I'm going to do, get the lid back on that alcohol. First thing, set it off to the side. Now, what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to butter them up on the back with this tacky glue, because you can't go in and butter up your glitter. You're just going to make a mess. So we just butter up the backs of these. And I want to make sure I get that set right. I don't want to have to move it there. And just press it down. Now I want to come in with, I've got a black one here, or dark gray, and I'm going to butter it up. I have to get some more glue out here soon too. I'm going to butter up the back of this with some glue. And And you want to leave this thing laid flat until this is perfectly dry. I'll leave them laid flat a week. I want it to be totally dry before I try moving it. And make sure you push these down into that glitter. You want them to adhere down onto that canvas as much as possible. Got his head covered, coming down his back. And let's see here. I'm going to do another one at his tail. Right above his tail with the turquoise. These are just little gemstones that I picked up over the years, had laying around, cleaning up a bin of my beads, and I just look around at what I've got, say, what can I make out of some of this stuff? And ideas just kind of come to me. Now we're going to come in with this one. Here, let's get some more glue out. My glue palette is running dry. So put some more glue down. May need to clean the nozzle in my glue bottle. Running a little slow on me. Okay. Got a decent amount down there. Put the top back on it and set it aside. And we'll get a little more glue. And I'm going to butter up another piece here. This one is a little teardrop. And this is kind of a marbly looking white piece. I'm not sure what the name of them is. I just know that I like them. You know, when I see them, oh, I like that. Oh, I could do something with that. And then maybe it takes a while before the project presents itself that I can use it for, but eventually, that's why I say don't throw your stuff out. A lot of people, oh, I'm going to destash, I'm going to get rid of things. And as soon as you get rid of stuff, then you realize, oh, if I'd hung on to that, I could use that in this project. Now this one, let's kind of measure this up. I don't think it's going to go quite down to that turquoise piece, but that's okay, because I may fill in with a little something else down there. We'll see. There's that piece in. And what else do I have? Some little something. There's a, yeah. Feast or famine, chicken or feathers. I'm seeing big ones that are a little too big, and I'm seeing little ones that might be a little too small. But here's a little one, and we'll try to fill that in there. And maybe I'll even come off the sides of it with a little something. Little something, something. Let's see if that'll go down in there. Sticking in my fingers. Go me. There. Push down in. And got one more of those. Yeah, no such luck in having two of them, would there be? What else we got here? Maybe a couple of somethings. Well, I'm going to use up some of these bigger pieces, and then we'll see. I don't have to do that part right now anyway. But I've got a bunch of these little round ones that I can use on the tail. And see how these stick up on my piece? So, it's going to need to go in some kind of shadow box. I want some kind of piece of glass on it. That's for sure. I don't want there to be any chance of anybody picking at it or dropping it and knocking beads and stuff off of it. It needs to be in a nice glass case. And then I've got this one that I'm going to put. Whoa! Glad this stuff dries clear. Holy smoke. That's what not to do. Now we'll wipe that little blemish off of it there. Okay, so we got that little heart put upside down there at the tip of his tail. Press all these down good. Make sure we got them adhered well. Now, there ain't going to be no place for this big turquoise piece, so I'm going to set that one aside. And there's not going to be any place for that big turquoise heart there, so we'll set it aside. And then I've only got one of those little black hearts left, so we'll set that aside. And I'm thinking, let's see, only got one of these little brown doofobbies, so I'm going to set that aside. When I've got multiples of things, then I can use multiples, because we got 4 wings, right? So we're going to need multiples of at least 4 if we're going to put other things on there. And I'm thinking that what I may do here is just not even do too much to the wings. I've got a lot of these little red chips. I've got 3 of the little black chips, but that's not enough to do anything with. So I'll move them back to the side. There's a whole pile of little red ones that we could do something with maybe on the wings if we wanted to. But I'm thinking those might be better off. Might be better off just to do something on the body here. I've got 2 blues for each side, 2 turquoise for each side. And then maybe not even use the red. The red don't even really fit in with anything that I got going on the wings, unless I was to drop some chips maybe in the silver part or something on each one. But I think that's overkill. Let me just get these 4 little turquoise buttered up here and place them on the body. That will come in right in there. And this dries clear, so when you see a little smear of, where'd my stuff go on the screen? There we go. When you see a little smear of glue like that down there on the bottom, don't worry about it. It's going to dry clear. Nobody will be the wiser once it's dry. So drop another one in right there, right below it. Just like that. I tap them down. Get a little bit more here. Put 2 on the other side. That big white colored one. Well, goodness gracious. Me oh my oh. Try that again. Let's butter it up. I got glue all over my fingers. Okay. Get him in there. Push him down. Make sure we got those 2 pushed down. We've got 1 more to go. I just take my paintbrush handle and push it off my fingers, since my fingers are getting sticky. And tap it down. Now there's a few little white lines you see around the tail and stuff here. Some of that's glue, some of it's not. I'm going to let it all dry real good before I try to go in, and I'll take a wet paintbrush with water paintbrush, and go around and clean those lines up real good. And anything that don't clean up, then I'll go back over it with black paint. But should all clean up real good. I see just maybe a little bit in here, and that'll just wash right off with a wet paintbrush. So he's looking pretty cool. I'm liking the way this turned out. So if you like it, leave a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think of my bejeweled dragonfly, and leave some comments. Let me know. Check out my Etsy store. I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of stuff to Etsy store this week. I've got a pile ready to rock. I've got to get pictures and get it up there. So that's going to be a plan for this week to get that stuff up. And check out my Patreon. I'll be adding a video to that later this week too. I've got another project sitting here ready to do for Patreon. And you get your name in a drawing if you join the Patreon channel. For every tier of donations, I pull a name out of a hat, and I'll be giving away a March gift for each tier. And I'm so tired from the craft show that I can't even remember what all I'm supposed to say. But follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. All the URLs to all this stuff's in the description of the video. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask them. I think there's only one thing left to say, and that's Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda. Bye.